Good morning. Again, welcome to this series of Decoding Obesity, the outcomes of the treatments and the impacts of the disease. Today we are going to talk about what are the impacts of obesity on the complete health of an individual, whether a man or a woman, in an adulthood stage. Obesity comes as the burden to the body and not really the strength. We have seen in the previous few lectures about how obesity is the consequence of underutilization of the energy by the body as against a lot of burden from outside only. This understanding of obesity, about the paradox of obesity, which means there is a large burden of the calories, but the tissue in the body is suffering from the starvation. Let us know that how this kind of problem can really convert a healthy body into a diseased body. Let's talk about the heart first. The more the BMI, the more the fat percentage, the more the burden on the heart for supply of the oxygen in the optimum way. Obviously, the heart has to do lot of effort, much more than normal, to supply oxygen to this body. So the basal activity which the heart needs to do is obviously much more. A 10% deviation from the normal weight, body can supply comfortably. Beyond that 10%, typically when we understand that the body mass index has grown more than 28, the body really suffers from the heavy weights. This heart has to work 1.5 times more after it crosses the BMI of 32. This heart itself goes into something which is called hypertrophy, because this pumping is heavier, the muscle has to become heavy, the muscle in turn is going to need more oxygen, and the heart, which is trying to supply optimum oxygen to the body, itself goes into oxygen deprivation kind of situation. This typically is known as the hypertrophy of the heart, which leads to a very tiring or the fatigue of the heart. The second part is, whenever the fat amount in the body is on the rise, the cholesterols, which are troublesome, get engaged into formation of a thick layer inside the blood vessel. Now this is your heart, which is pumping the blood into the blood vessel, and this is the blood vessel which is already having a reduction in the lumen because of the cholesterol. This typically leads to a slowness of the circulation. At the same time, the heart has to do more pumping towards this blood vessel. Again, we are going into a zone of more and more fatigability of the heart at the cost of its own resistance, and at the same time the end organ is unable to get the optimum oxygen. So this is what happens with the heart. Heart goes into a tiresome zone wherein it will lead to a chronic heart disease. Chronic fatigability is one of the important signs of the chronic heart disease. The second thing which can come up is, because now the heart's after work or after load is high, the preload of the heart also becomes high, which leads to stagnation of the fluid inside the body,